What's up, everybody? It's Farmer Kevin. So today I'm going to take you on a little hike with me in the pine woods. You can see them behind me. I'm going to take you to one of my favorite spots, and we're going to make some herbal tea together, and I'll just have you along for a relaxing journey, I hope. So yeah, let's do it.
Fruit fly blues, there ain't much use not anymore. Sometimes summer lights on a century. Vans whipped off the front steps away from cigarettes and country festival. Better days when roadside crib lays on me, dirty, damn, and death. Then I want some more dreams of warmer days when West Virginia darkened door and Hillsborough was the floor. Tanning darkened oceans and Howland's war. We was always also we think our affinity for creative lakes and misshapen late. Rising water raising stakes. Mumbucker sailing goddamn the films, rising how we do it. And the state system, make sure that she did. You wanna make sure she did. Pulling along with all the rings, clearing the white man's dead.
Alright, so I'm just about to where I usually cut off the trail and head into the trees. So I'll just show you guys what's going on in the pines and generally why I like to hang out here. So there's less undergrowth here than the rest of the trail up until this point. It's pretty easy to walk. You can see there's a lot of pine needles, some grass. This is what is covering a lot of the other stuff that I can't really walk through as easily, but that's dog fennel that's already gone to flower. You can see there's also cactuses out here, so you got to be careful about that. But with the ground here, you can see the pine needles and longleaf pine systems like this. Here, let me show you. See those big needles? They're much bigger than slash or loblolly that you see in Florida and that are used for industry / pines. These are planted in rows. You can see how straight this spacing is and that there's 2 rows on either side. But this is a restoration area and is planted with longleaf, so they're not harvesting this for paper or lumber. But they are managing it with fire, which is what the longleaf pine ecosystem in Florida and in the southeast, all along the Gulf Coast, it needs fire. It removes the undergrowth that builds up. It removes the too thick of the understory, so that native quail and all the little critters can travel through it much easier. So here the fire is good. We do get some drought here and fire, but let me just show you this real quick. So when it's burnt, the pines are resistant to it, and they let enough light down to support all the critters and everything. But I think you'll be able to see it here. It's a mixture of sand, and it's not just like sugar sand that you'd usually see. The fires incorporate a lot more of that forest floor loam. You can see a bunch of bugs and ants. Try not to get bit by them. But also, that little spot didn't really show it too well, but you can see it on the bottom of the trees. They're black, and that's from the burning of the forest. A controlled burn. So let me get out to my spot here, and I'll show you guys my setup. All right, this looks like a good place to set up my hammock. I think these trees are close enough to each other to support it between. We'll see. They're not huge trees, but they're pretty big. Trees are strong, so they'll hold me up. And there's a little clearing back here behind it with some cactus, so I'll see if I can set up here. Alright, so I got a variety of herbs that I'm going to make tea with today. I have done some gathering around here. You can use pine needles in tea, and I've done goldenrod out here along the trail as well. But it's already kind of past goldenrod season, and I won't mess with the pines when they're hunkering down for winter. So I brought some herbs today. This is what I use for my memory and brain function type tea brew. I use gunpowder green tea. This is gold ginkgo leaf from Mountain Rose Herbs. It's a really good product. Good for blood flow, brain function, short-term memory, I believe. I think ginkgo's maybe better for like long-term Alzheimer prevention, that kind of stuff. Whereas go-to cola would be better for the short-term, mental clarity, short-term memory kind of stuff. So that's also from Mountain Rose Herbs. And then lastly, ashwagandha, which is a widely used medicinal across the world, from Ayurvedic medicine, all across Asia, but I'm using it here in Florida. I found a small farm on Etsy called Reverie Farm in Troy, Idaho. I think they're women owned and operated, so try to find herbs if you can from small farms. Support the farmers, of course, always. Sometimes you can find them on places like Etsy. Let me get this tea going here. And typically, I would mortar and pestle the ashwagandha, but I'm just going to kind of break it as I'm putting it in. is like dried root, so better to pound it. I'll just take a pinch of the go-to cola and even less of a pinch of ginkgo because this one's a little more bitter in my experience. And this is the gunpowder green tea, which you can see semi-curled up little pearls, the little gunpowder. So there's that. And now I'll start getting my water ready to go. Oh, I'm also going to put a little bit of Florida navel orange just to brighten it up, give it some flavor, because these are all kind of bitter herbs, even including the green tea, although that would be contributing the most flavor otherwise. But yeah, this is from a local farm, older gentleman and his wife who sell alongside the highway. So I stopped by, talked to him, got a bag of oranges the other day. So that's what's going to be bringing some vitamin C and flavor to the tea today. Find a good spot for my stove there. It's not a great spot for the stove. There we go. Alright, so this is about where I'll cut it off. I typically am not aiming for a boil, especially with herbal teas. You can lose some of the chemical constituents of the medicinal properties if you let it roll to a boil. Well, it wasn't too hot today. Sometimes, I guess the way the wind blows, it depends. We'll get this metal handle really hot. I'll have to use my other nifty camp pot holder. Those are really awesome things. I had this with me when I was backpacking in Oregon, working for the Forest Service. So yeah, I usually let the water get to small bubble stage before it starts getting the big bubbles right before it boils, and that's usually good enough for me. It kind of depends on the herb, so check that out. But also, as a general rule for herbal tea, I kind of don't bring it to a boil. The other thing being that I'm impatient with and want to drink it right away, so that helps when it's not boiling hot. All right, I'll just pour some in here. All right, so while I let that steep, I'm going to cut up the orange here. And while I have the strainer section on my teacup, I'm going to squeeze the orange in just in case I let any seeds go. It'll come out with the strainer. So you can see that nice Florida orange there. I don't really see any seeds, but it smells amazing. So it's been steeping for a couple minutes now. If there's a lot of smaller sediment, this is a really fine mesh strainer on this, so you got to stir it around a bit to brush the really small stuff from blocking it. But that's okay. I like a fine strainer, so I'll deal with it in proper farmer fashion, using my snips in lieu of a spoon. Cheers. It's really tasty. The orange gives it an acidity and a little floral quality as well. But you can definitely taste those bitter medicinal herbs. It's almost like a smoky quality when it all comes together. Might be from like ashwagandha root. And the fact that I did it over the stove in the woods.